and baiting her opponent, and she knew what it was going to take to get him to take the bait. And so she was able to get her policy information in there because people are still saying she ain't got no policy.
Yeah.
So she was able to get some of her policy things in there. You may not have liked it. You may have wished that she had said more. I am one of those people who wish that she had said more things about more things, but she said what she said.
Said what she needed to say.
She said what she said.
Yeah.
She needed to say some other things, but she said what she said.
Said what she said.
And yeah, so and immediately after that, she was ready for another. She was ready for another debate. So she went ahead and challenged them. But I don't think we're going to see another debate.
No, they ain't ready. They're not ready.
We can wait and see how the junior varsity team, JD,
yeah,
and the coach,
yeah,
we'll see how they do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If maybe they'll cancel that. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you think they'll cancel the vice presidential debate?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be about the same.
Yeah, because that's the funny thing. Like the mediocre people always think that they're stellar. So yeah. JD Vance would definitely show up.
Oh yeah.
Even with all the baggage. Like if we just roll the tapes and just listen to the things that JD Vance had to say about his running mate.
Yeah.
I mean just run that. Just run that tape.
That's really all they got to do.
Yeah.
I mean he said he told somebody the other week we just, make up stories.
That's what he said.
Sometimes we had to make up stories.
Yep.
Get stuff happening. Yeah.
And unfortunately, innocent people get caught in the crosshairs of those lies. Call them making most of the lies because they know nobody out here eating nobody's cats and dogs.
Nobody.
But they say ridiculous things all the time, and those are the things that the news has to cover. But unfortunately, there are real people who are not able to send their children to school, who are not feeling safe in their neighborhood.
Yes.
Who are here legally and were invited to Springfield to help with the, I guess, lack of labor that they had in that town. And so they are being productive citizens of that community, but are being punished, I guess is the word. Criminalized, dehumanized.
Yes.
By the words of the people who want to be in charge of the entire country. So,
yeah,
that's where we are.
Yeah, and it's really dangerous. It's really dangerous, and they don't realize. So last week, I think maybe on the 14th last week was the 61st anniversary. I think it was 61st anniversary of the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church, where 4 little girls killed in an explosion, many others hurt. And it was because of rhetoric. It was because of fear-mongering. It was because of people saying similar things that they say now. They had the speech. They had the in August, they had the March on Washington. And, a month later, there's a bombing of a church because of rhetoric, because of lies, because of fear, because of, people just gaslighting people for no reason. And again, fear mongering. And you have that same mindset. And, people may think, oh, it's just innocent. What he said was stupid. And I mean, it was stupid. But there are people who have that same mindset of the people that put that dynamite under that church. Those people, that was 61 years ago. There's people that were part of that. They're still living. I mean, they can tell that story somewhere. That it's not like
on both sides.
Yeah, they on both. Yeah, so there's still and there's people exactly. So and it's things like that have that same mindset, and for for people not to call stuff out like that, and just the rhetoric and the divisiveness and the the hate. You know, you need people need to call that out. And I know those may be your friends, those may be people may be your family, maybe people that you really care about, but the people are dangerous and not worth losing lives. But again, that's what that does. It fuels that fire. So,
Um, Also, this month marks the 160th year that the Fugitive Slave Act was repealed. It's 1864, which pretty much gave any white person the authority to challenge a black person's status, freedman's free status, and that would allow them to, I guess, turn them in or return them back to, even if they were free, to return them back to places that were still involved in the um, enslavement of Black people. And so this is kind of the same when we talk about the Haitians and being immigrants, and you know people are able to just ask people for their papers. This is kind of where we are. So this is why we pay attention to history, because the more things change, the more they stay the same. And there are still people who feel like they have the authority to challenge um, people, Black people,
mhm.
or to want to make them humble themselves. As Sarah from Arkansas said.
Whew,
Um,
if y'all ain't, I'd love to play that. We
so
probably can't.
yeah, but it's just the audacity of people. Somebody like Sarah Sanders, Sarah Huckabee, who is the governor of Arkansas, probably only because her daddy is
Was the governor of Arkansas.
she was born into a political family. She was a failed press secretary for a failed president.
Yep.
But when they fail, nobody's asking them, why are you here? Nobody ever asks, do you deserve to be here?
Mm-hmm.
Which she does not. But she wants to get on stage and again, I don't know, this weird obsession they have with women who have chosen not to be mothers, or for whatever reason are not mothers, due to medical reasons they cannot be mothers. Like, I don't know why they think that that's a winning strategy, to just continue to hound and disrespect those people. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, like, Sarah was on at one of these rallies and said that her children humble her. And then at the second, turn right around and says Kamala, because they refuse to say her name right, just disrespect. To say that Kamala Harris doesn't have anything to humble her. First of all, why she need to be humbled?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like she need to be humbled?
Yeah.
She is an accomplished Black woman. That's probably the only reason why you think she should be humbled. But she is, she's an attorney who passed the bar, who was a district attorney, who was a senator, who is now the vice president of the United States. So,
yeah,
I guess, is that y'all's new word for uppity? Because why would she need to be? Why would she need to be humble?
Humble means somebody need to put her in her place. I mean, really, that's just that language. I mean, she needs to be humbled. She needs to be put in her place. She doesn't belong. I mean, that's that whole just rhetoric again. And even that, again, goes back to it. Just it continues to fuel this fire. It continues to, just promote the divisiveness that, and the fear mongering. And then it's unnecessary because these people are unhinged.
Unhinged.
Yeah. I mean, they're just,
speaking of that, we'll move on, but go ahead.
yeah. I mean, they're just unhinged when, this violence is what they, that's all they know. And it's just, and that's where they feel they can win. It's through that, and just continue to promote that hate and fear mongering. And they're supposed to be, they're supposed to be the moral majority, proclaimed moral majority.
And never have been.
Never have been. And that's where most of the, those white Christian evangelicals reside, and they talk so much about fear, so much about fear. But if they would, take time to open the book they claim to follow, there's, over 200 or 300 references where God says, "Fear not." Don't be afraid. But they continue to promote fear, and they're fearful of everything and fearful of all that's happening and taking place. But you trust in God. That's what you need to do. Just sit back and let God move. You said unhinged?
Well, I said unhinged, but then you just, there's
No.
just so many things we could talk about with them. Like when they, they berate and degrade these women who don't have children. Like, they just love children so much. I don't know why we went out. But they never say anything about the men who don't have children. Have you ever heard them say anything about Lindsey Graham not having no kids?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You ever heard them say anything about Tim Scott not having no kids?
No.
So why is it that, if children are the bar, and if children are the standard, and you just love children so much, why do your policies not say that?
Yeah.
Why did you not sign the child tax credit that raised more than 50% of children out of poverty? Why did y'all not re-sign that?
Yeah.
Why do you not want children to be able to eat lunch at school? Why do you keep taking money out of public schools where the majority of children are? So it's just like it's just talk. Like we know if we and for those people who always say, what are their policies? What's our policy? Like these people always are telling us what their policies are. They show us every day what their policies are. And people are still acting like they're undecided. This is kind of where we were supposed to go.
Oh yeah, who's still undecided?
And while we're talking about being undecided, so in North Carolina today, some news broke about our lieutenant governor, who is now running to be governor of the state. And it's just these are things that are coming out from, I don't know, almost 20 years ago, 15 years ago, about things that he said on a porn site. And for that, now all of a sudden the line in the sand has been drawn and they want him to drop out of the race. Where the man at the top of the ticket has been found guilty of sexual assault
with a porn star
and sexual assault.
Oh yeah,
that's different.
Oh yeah,
and also of paying off a porn star. So,
yeah, maybe they're the same.
So why now? Why now? First of all, and why do they get to say? Why do you get to say? Because of what this man did several years ago on a website where he was spewing white supremacy, which y'all love. That's the only reason why he's the candidate. He's a black face that spews white supremacy, and they love that. But all of a sudden now, these things that he's saying on a porn site, and they always are the moral standard. They're always the moral standard, and everything they tell people not to do, they're busy doing it.
Yeah.
So I hope Mark Robinson stays in the race. Stay in there. And I think he only has until tonight. He only has until midnight tonight. Because in North Carolina, we are 28 days out from early voting. Early voting starts here October the 27th. And so our ballots are going out, I think, tomorrow. Like if you have requested an absentee ballot, those ballots are being mailed tomorrow with the names of the candidates on them. So he only has until midnight. I hope he stays.
Stand in it.
And I hope, when the man that's running for president on the Republican side comes back to North Carolina for a rally, I hope he has Martin Luther King on steroids, which is what he called him.
Have him with him.
He was better. He was better than Martin Luther King. To hear that man tell it.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden y'all want him to drop, and he has been this person. He has been the person that he is today. He's been that person. He's been in local churches around here, spewing that same hate. Like y'all didn't know he was taking a whole piece into the pawn shop. You didn't know that. But you did know he was standing up saying he want to go back to a time when women couldn't vote. You did know he was standing up saying that black people ought to pay white people reparations for slavery. Like y'all, these are things that y'all knew that he was saying. So why does he today? Because you found something from 2008 when he was mini soldier.
Minnesota.
When he was mini soldier on a porn site saying foolish things.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden you want him to leave. So in our district, Sophia Jackson is running against Aaron Parray, who has hitched her wagon to Mark Robinson because they all have these same ideological ideas. So I want him to stay in the race, and I want them to continue to support one another. Stand 10 toes down in it.
Stand in it.
Also in North Carolina, we have a woman who is running for superintendent of schools. This is the race I need y'all to pay attention to because it's supposed to be nonpartisan, and I don't know that it will say Democrat or Republican on this North Carolina superintendent. They want to be superintendent of all the schools in North Carolina. Mo Green is the person who has the experience. The other lady who is running homeschool her kids, has never had her children in public schools,
but she knows what
took them with her to January 6th at the insurrection. So she was there. She has said that she wanted to see people assassinated on TV, including President Joe Biden.
This is what she teaches her homeschool.
Including our Governor Roy Cooper.
She paid for it.
Including our former President Barack Obama. But they want to talk to us about morals all the time. This is a lady who wants to be in control of the public schools that she calls indoctrination centers, who does not have any experience at all. And she said she was a nurse. I feel sorry for any Black, brown, LGBTQ, anybody in that community who she's had to provide care to.
Yeah.
Because you probably did not get the best care.
Nope.
Not from that lady who talks crazy, who says celebrities are out here drinking the blood of children.
Just again.
These races are you would think that we are not being serious, but we are being so serious. Like, these are the people who are running for the offices here in North Carolina. So pay attention to that superintendent race, especially those of you who may not have children in public schools. We don't. We do have our grandchildren there in public schools. And so we're concerned about the money they just gave, $463 million to a voucher program here.
Extra. That
anybody can apply for. If you are a millionaire, you are still eligible to get that voucher to send your child to public school.
Private school.
I'm sorry, to private schools that are not held accountable to anyone for the money that they spend. Their teachers, I think they said only like 2%. Like, not a lot of their teachers are certified to even be teaching, but they're getting all of this money from the state. Our General Assembly just rewarded them with this money. What their plan is to dismantle the public school system. So when we talk about Project 2025, they're not waiting until 2025. They are actively doing these things right now. And so we need you to be aware,
pay attention,
be informed, have your plan. When I say have your plan, are you going to early vote? Early voting starts October the 17th. Are you going voting on Souls to the Polls Day, which I think here is October 24th in our area. We're always talking locally. All politics are local. Are you going to take someone with you to vote? Are you going to go on voting day? Do you know where your polling site is? What is your plan? What is your plan to vote?
Yep. 28 days. 28 days to early voting. Check your status.
Check your status.
Check your voter status. Check your voter status. And check your voter status.
And if you're in doubt,
check your voter status.
Check your voter status.
It's important. It's important.
It is important.
Yes, very. I saw where it's almost comical, but
and not at the same time.
It's not. It's very serious. But Mark Robinson used to like transgender people.
Well, that was one of the things that he was watching on the porn site. Again,
yeah,
you have to be careful with people who are so against so many things, because it's normally always projection. It's normally projection.
That's what it is.
And I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. I'm not even making no judgment about it. But don't be out here preaching to people about things that they shouldn't be doing, and it's the same things that you enjoy. Like, this is where we go back to my original. We're gonna have to go back and pull the tapes when I said, mind your business. If you mind your business, you won't have no issues. Don't like abortions? Don't get one. Don't like same-sex marriage? Don't be in one.
Don't be in one.
Mind your business.
Do your thing.
How simple is that?
Yes.
Now, if you was minding your business, maybe we wouldn't know all these, all these commercials wouldn't be on here about the daycare that y'all was running so horribly. If you just mind your business. Like
they didn't do a good job.
So anyway, again, this is not anything new. The daycare been closed for several years. But this is the person who y'all put up as lieutenant governor. And this is the person who beat out everybody in the Republican primary for governor. So this is you knew who he was. We knew who he was. And you knew who he was.
That's right.
So stay in it, Mark. Stay in it.
Tell him you ain't going nowhere. Tell him you ain't going nowhere. I'm staying here. And that's right, Dr. Gaddy, period.
Period. Mind your business.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're going to come up, because when Joe got switched out, they couldn't do that. That was horrible. So I wonder how they're going to spin this one. But I do think, how they always, a lot of times, not always, how some of the people who are good cyber criminals end up getting jobs in the cybersecurity world? The person who dug up this last stuff, they probably could get a campaign job right now, because they went deep and they pulling some stuff out the woodwork. These folks probably going to get a call and say, look, we need you on our vetting team because somebody needs to be fired.
Yes. Yeah. Jen, so here in Raleigh, the city mascot is the acorn, and we do have a few nuts. Like,
oh yes.
And how do we have so many? How do we have so many in just my district? And just the people in my district that are running, we have one person who I think was abusing his wife. So they're sending those mailers out. We have Aaron Parray, I think, who they said voted with her party 99% of the time, which is Mark Robinson's party. We have this nut job who, again, I just got to talk about, who wants to be the superintendent of public schools, who never had nothing to do with public schools.
Took her kids on a field trip.
She homeschools her own kids, has never had nothing to do with public schools, but she wants to tell your children, our children, what they can read,
what they can't read,
what they cannot read in public school. So yeah, I don't know how we got so many. How do we get so many whack jobs? I don't know.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah. But we just need y'all to do your homework.
Do your homework. And
say no tomorrow.
Yeah. And she's
yes tomorrow.
Yeah. She's her message sounds, if you didn't know, I mean, it sounds probably, and even their whole messaging, like we always say, is always on point and good. In school choice, that sounds like something that's positive. But when you drill down and really find out what's behind school choice, you realize
that the school is making a choice.
Yes. And when we realize, and this is what a lot of people don't know, this is not, we live in Wake County. A lot of people who, in this area who may support private schools, because in this area, there are a lot of private schools. But when you get out in the rural counties, there's only about 10% of the 100 counties in North Carolina who even have private schools. So you're pulling all of these resources, pulling all of this money and sending it, and you want to give it all to these private schools. And there are places that people that not even they don't even have that representation. They don't have a choice. So when you're talking school choice, they don't even have a choice. And nobody has said that you couldn't have private schools. You want to have private schools, have private schools. But if there's $800 million for education, early childhood education, and for public schools and those schools, you don't need to give all $800 million to the private schools.
Especially when there is a court case, the Leandro case here, that says you must provide this public education to children, but they keep saying we don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Clearly we do.
Yeah.
But I just want to just say what you just said again. We have 100 counties in North Carolina.
100.
Only 10 of those counties have private schools. So again, we're talking about $800 million because they just gave them $463 million on top of the $400 million they already gave them.
Yes.
Only 10 counties out of the 100 counties in North Carolina even have a private school. So, like Wayne said, that there is no school choice. Some of those children have to go to the public schools that they are trying to dismantle. And kids should not be punished by what zip code they live in, while we're giving all of this money to people who are already millionaires who can already afford to send their children to whatever school they want to send their children to.
Yep. And on top of this, these scholarships, these vouchers, a lot of these private schools, I mean, when you go there, everything you get is covered. A lot of private schools, lunch is paid, lunch is covered. You don't have to buy lunch. And so again, we don't want to fund, public schools and want to, call people who get free lunch, socialists because people want to provide free lunch and make sure people have food and make sure people have an opportunity. But you can give $450 million to private schools, and that's not considered the same. Not considered the same. Justify, they can justify that. So yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Last time we were here, we told y'all that we might be in the woods tonight doing this podcast. Yeah. We were actually supposed to be camping, but we were not able to make it. And we were going to be camping again here in North Carolina. We were going to be camping in Vance County, which if you're here in North Carolina, or it may be a national case now. There was a young man named Javion McGee, who was found dead, leaning against a tree with a rope around his neck. And so the circumstances of his death have not been, we don't know how he died. But so his family was here to meet with the mayor. I think they're waiting for the coroner's report. So we just want to lift that family up in prayer. Regardless, they have lost someone. He was young. I think he was only 23 years old. He was a truck driver from Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he was just driving through. There is some videotape of him at Walmart actually purchasing the rope. But there is no
evidence.
Yeah, there's of
report
of how he died. So again, we're supposed to be in Vance County, so we're just lifting up everybody in Vance County who was involved in that case. We're lifting up his family, his friends, anybody who loved Javion McGee. We just want to call his name.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's just sad that we cannot say for sure that he was not hanged in 2024. Yes. The fact that we cannot rule out that a young Black man was hanged says a lot about the environment that we're in right now. And I felt that yesterday. I was driving through, I don't even know what county I was in, but it is the place where I have seen the most Trump signs and even some Mark Robinson signs. And it was about 5:30. It was about 6 o'clock. And for me, and I was thinking, this is probably a sundown town. And it's getting dark real quick. Now, I wasn't parked, I was driving. But to even have that thought because of the rhetoric and because of the signs that I was seeing, and I didn't see any Democratic signs. I was only seeing Trump Vance, Mark Robinson, crazy Michelle Morrow. I was only seeing those signs. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I need to probably speed through here, but not speed through here. I don't want no problems.
Yeah.
So
you'll need to get stopped.
I did not want to get stopped, but it is that's where we are. And I don't know what it's going to take to change that in 2024 because it feels like 1964. Some cases, maybe even like 1864. I was just talking about the Fugitive Slave Act that got repealed. So It is going to be up to us to get people in office, to make these changes, to flush out the noisy minority, because I believe that that is what they are.
That's exactly what they are.
But is sad that we have, people who say I can't put a Harris Walt sign in my yard because I don't feel safe. And we have a sheriff in, not here, but in another state that has said to his people, the sheriff of the county, that says, if you see a Harris Walt sign in somebody's yard, send me the address so we know where to send illegal immigrants to if they win.
That's what the sheriff says.
That's the sheriff. The sheriff who really does not report to anybody. So these are the times that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
We are hoping for, a great turnout in November, that we can get rid of some of these wackos, that we may be able to get back on the right track.
Yes.
We got to get back.
Send the burger seats up. Vote them out.
We got to get back.
All the seats are up. We have to continue to be diligent. And
I always want to say to the people who like this is not the year to be cute. Okay. This is not the year to write in your own name. Don't write in Jesus. Don't write in Mickey Mouse.
No.
We have two binary choices.
Yes.
It's either going to be Kamala Harris or it's going to be that other dude. I understand people who say that they have to vote their conscience. And those are normally the people who going to be all right either way. But the people who are saying they're going to vote for Jill Stein.
So when people say they're going to vote their conscience, I really want to know what your conscience is.
Your conscience is you can't vote for this the dude because he's horrible. You can't vote for Kamala Harris because you don't like her stance on Palestine. You can't vote for genocide. And I mean, I respect that.
So
I respect that. So vote your conscience.
But your conscience, you don't care about your neighbors. You don't care about people who are the 87 million poor and low wage voters who, out here, 140 million poor and low wage people who live in this country. The 80 some million who go to work every day for less than $15 an hour. Those people who,
no, clearly these are people who only care about themselves and their conscience.
People that work
and their one issue.
Yeah, and they've dehumanized these people because these are people who they're not lazy. They're people. These are people that work 40, 60 hours a week in the factory and sleep in their car because we don't have affordable housing or because they have to work for a minimum wage. These are people who work 2 or 3 jobs and still unhoused because they have nowhere to live. These are people who have to make a choice that they're going to buy food or medicine. It's people who $300 or $400 away from an economic ruin because of just the inequitableness of this, of the workforce. So I really, the conscience piece, do you have a conscience? Is really what I want to know. Do you even have one? Do you have a conscience to be able to
especially to those, the one issue voters. And I always say I am a one issue voter. I want to continue to live in peace and harmony. I don't need to be out here scared for my children, scared for my life. That is my one issue.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live. That's my one issue. And we do at least have one candidate who is talking about raising up the middle class. Again, when I said that, there's some things she didn't say that I wish she would have said, it's that. Nobody's talking about poverty. Nobody's talking about the people who are not middle class, who are working 2 and 3 jobs. Neither candidate is talking about what we're going to do about raising people out of poverty, raising children out of poverty. Nobody's talking about that. But yeah. But I do want to, the people who are, like I was talking about Jill Stein, who has ran for a lot of things and who has never won anything. She's never won anything. Never. But every 4 years, here she come, want to be the president. who pays for that? Because we've worked with a couple of campaigns and we know that even running a local campaign is not cheap.
Nope.
So how every 4 years is Jill Stein able to run for president?
When she don't do no fundraising.
She don't do nothing. These are the questions I need for for y'all to ask. And if you have the answers, let me know. Why do you want to vote for somebody who ain't never won nothing? And who will have no power? If she's the Green Party, how many other people in the Senate? How many other Green Party? I don't know if y'all heard that interview this week where Angela Rye took her to task.
Oh, yes.
Just asking her this question.
Basic questions.
Just asking her this question. She didn't even know how many people are in Congress.
She know,
and you might not know how many people in Congress, but you're not running for president. If you're running for president, you should know how many seats are up and how many people in Congress. You should know this. But when she asks what help are you gonna have? How many senators from the Green Party do we have? We don't have none.
Yeah.
We don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
How many congressmen, do we have from the Green Party? We don't have any. But every 4 years, here you come running for president.
Mm-hmm.
You done ran for mayor, for governor, for dog cat. Like you can't nothing. You won nothing.
Sure.
But you keep showing up every 4 years, and people keep saying Jill Stein is my candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just me ranting. That's just me. So we only got 20 minutes. So let me just say real quick, some things that we've done this week. This weekend we had our family reunion. The family reunion on my mama's side. My mom, who was one of 12 children. And when I tell y'all that I always say I have more than 100 first cousins, like they showed up this weekend. Like we took over a whole park. And not even everybody was there. So it was great to be together with family when it was not a funeral, which is where we normally see that many family members in one place. So it was great to get together with family. Of course, I had my clipboard. I was able to register 4 people to vote. Most people didn't want to talk to me because they knew what I was getting ready to talk about. But you gonna get this voting information. Mm-hmm. I don't care where we at. You gonna get this information. I want to know if you're registered. Mm-hmm. And we also had a lot of people who were able to check their voter registration and their status. And so there was one cousin who thought she was registered, who was not. She had been moved to the inactive role and she votes. So we were able to, get her re-registered. So these are the things that are important. So when I say, what's your plan? Make sure you're registered. Check your voter registration right now. Just real quick. Just to make sure that you have not been purged from the rolls, because that is one of the tactics of this voter suppression. So I was glad to see my family. Mm-hmm. I think they said there was about 500 of us. Wayne probably always feels like there's 500 of us.
There was 5? Yeah. Oh, you need a scorecard. I need a scorecard to keep up with who's who.
So yeah, and my mom is, I think she's number 11 out of 12. She's the last girl, and then there's one more boy after her. So yeah, there's a lot of people she got a lot of nieces and nephews that are older than her.
Yeah, you probably got 300 cousins now.
Yeah, if you count everybody. But when I say first cousins, like literally, I have over 100 first cousins. Yeah, that means my mama and they mama, or my mama and they brother. I mean, they daddy are brothers and sisters. So yeah, so we did that.
And we could have my family reunion sitting at this table.
We could all gather around
and be everybody.
We did meet some new family members, like my mama's. It was my mama's grandmama's sister's family, and they had not met. So it was good to see, the elders sitting and chatting and reminiscing about them knowing the same people. We have, one cousin who has lived in Apex for 30 years that we didn't know. She's just right up the street. Like, I'm sure we've seen her somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that's what family reunions are about.
She was a daycare worker to watch our kids.
No, her mama.
Oh, her mama.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but yeah, so her daughter worked at our children's daycare, which, now they're 30. But anyway, that's kind of what the summer is. Summer is coming to an end this week. Fall officially starts. So hope you all had a great summer. Hope you enjoyed some time off, doing some vacation things. Um, Also, this past weekend, we were at a church in Holly Springs UCC with Lost Sheep Ministries, and also Woodhaven Baptist Church, where we had Compassion Day,
Love it's a parable.
which is when we come together and provide food and clothing and resources for the unhoused population and just the community. So that was, another thing that we did on Saturday.
And we're doing it again in Durham next Saturday. Not this
The 28th.
28th.
Yep.
Please join us.
Yeah. So that was good. And then let's see, this week we were able to get out for a date night where we drove an hour and a half to a concert to see October London, which I had never heard of, but he was good.
It was good. It was good.
I mean, it was Maxwell's Serenade concert. So Maxwell and Jasmine Sullivan, whose voice is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Voice is amazing. She can sing anything. So we enjoyed that. We don't get a lot of time to do just you and me things. So
yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. Maxwell.
We got home late. You could tell we're not young anymore. Had to get up and go to work the next day.
One of us early.
Both of us had to get up and go to work the next day.
Yeah, don't want to put that out there.
We both got up and went to work the next day.
We did. So, yep, we both got up and worked next day. Yep.
Yeah. Anything else happened this week that you want to talk about?
So we did mention the debate. Oh, and I was gonna say with debate, there's so many people's like, and so for anybody who may have watched the debate, what did you think of the people who they met with before, the undecided voters, who they met with before the debate? Because people are, they come up and say, well, I need to know more about them. Before you what? Before you what?
Yeah, because what do you know about him?
Yeah, what do you know about him? I mean, so yeah, it's they kept saying, you've had 3 years, you hadn't done anything yet. Well, I mean, you had 4 years ago, and you didn't do nothing. 8 years ago, you didn't do nothing. So yeah, like you said earlier, nobody questions any of the men about not having no children. And there's a bunch. Timothy, Lindsay, a lot of them South Carolina boys. They don't have no kids and they ain't married neither. They ain't got.
Timothy might be. When he thought he was gonna be maybe a vice presidential pick, he went and found a Mindy.
He grew him a beard.
He went and found a Mindy.
He grew him a beard. But yeah, so yeah, they don't got no kids. They ain't married, and they can't stand the homosexual community. You know what? Somebody need to look into that. One of y'all people who stalkers who found all this other stuff, look into that. Find out what's really going on.
And why don't we talk? This is what we're talking about when we talk about misogyny. Like why are we only talking about women who don't have children? Because they need a partner. They can't just make babies by themselves. So why don't we ever talk about childless men? What are childless men doing today? What they doing?
Unless they got children, they ain't taking care of.
So, we want to move away from the misogynistic talk. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders should be ashamed of herself.
Yes.
And all the other women who are making these comments about women who don't have children, who it may be a choice.
All 57% of you. You know who you are. All 57% of you that showed up in 2016. And I don't know how many percent of you showed up in 2020, but all 50+% of you.
I'm just saying, children are draining. Everybody don't want them. Everybody don't want them. Leave people alone. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
That's really all you got to do. That's really all you got to do is continue to mind your business. But So how many people, who's still undecided? How many people you know that are undecided? They're not undecided.
I don't know anybody that's really undecided. I mean, I don't believe people who say they're undecided.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know how you can't be. I don't know how you can still be undecided. Like it's not like every night Wayne says, "What do you want to eat?" And I'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
What I do know is what my choices are,
exactly.
and I know what I don't want.
Exactly. And it would be easy if we only had two choices.
And if I only had two choices every night, by the time he got home, I would know what I wanted to eat. So I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding these people, and I hate the media that keeps chasing them down. These undecided, independent, whatever voters.
Yeah.
Stop it. Let's focus on real things.
Because most of the time they don't even make no sense.
Let's focus on real things.
Yeah. Most of the time they don't make no sense. That one lady who was supposed to be in the undecided group literally made a comment that said she's undecided now. She was undecided, but she really did like what one of the candidates said about women having the right to choose.
She didn't know.
I'm like,
and she was the same lady who said she wrote her own name in on the ballot.
Yeah, it's foolish. But you undecided. But that's one of the things that is important to you. There's one thing that's important to you, but you undecided.
Right. Because that talk has been out there for a long time. Yeah. Again, you may not, and you said if you say you don't know a lot about her, but you know about him. He's out here
federal ban.
He out here bragging about getting rid of Roe v. Wade. He brags about that. So how you not know?
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing.
Yeah. They're unserious, unhinged.
Unserious and unhinged. So I don't know what has happened since we've been on here. Like I said, Mark Robinson has until midnight to withdraw from the race if that's what he's gonna do. So y'all let me know if you've heard anything. Is he still in? Because he said he ain't going nowhere, and I hope he stays right there in it.
I hope he's staying in it.
Be like a tree planted by the water, because he loved to quote scripture.
Be
like a tree planted by the river. Do not be moved.
We shall not be moved, Mark Robinson.
Do not be moved.
Stand in your hate.
Stand in it.
Go on over to
Go
Raleigh
find
preach
you another
about it
pulpit. Find you another pulpit.
Go on over there.
Speak your truth.
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Yeah. You ain't gonna get rid of me.
Mm-hmm. We are getting ready to disembark, but before we do, I also want to lift up my own family. This will be on my dad's side. We lost an aunt, and who has become an ancestor this week. So just want to shout out the Matthews family. Let you all know that I love you all, and Aunt Lily Mae will be missed. But we hope we can rally around each other, continue to love one another, continue to lift each other up, and help each one of us and you all get through this difficult time. So
yes,
may she rest in power. Lily Mae Matthews, just want to say her name, who is now going on to the ancestral realm, where she will continue to look out for us.
Continue to watch over, be in that great cloud of witnesses they continue to be. So Jen said he's still in as of now. So
stay in. Let him stay in there.
And we talked about listening to Sirius XM, and so there were some people who had some homework several months back. So hopefully, maybe someone who didn't have Sirius XM, or even if you had and didn't know about the channel, let us know if you're listening to 126, if you picked up any other information. 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. is nothing but just impactful information and knowledge. Thoughtful. It's just powerful. But when the people on the national Sirius XM radio show, who are in New Jersey and DC and not from this state, when they are talking about the foolishness of North Carolina, the foolery of one Mark Robinson, he making national news with all the stuff he's saying. I mean, it's getting around. So, we are getting to be known in North Carolina for things that, not so much popular anymore. Not
just for being a battleground state.
Yeah, and beach in the mountains.
Not for our barbecue.
Home of, not
for being a Tar Heel.
Yeah, cheer wine and all the good stuff like that. Mark is really just ruined. He's really, he's making us look bad.
He ain't making me look bad.
Well, I mean, the state as a whole.
We knew who Mark Robinson was.
Yeah. Oh, we did.
So yeah, he's making. Yeah, I guess some voters look bad.
Man, hey, they love him. They gonna stand in it, justify it, go on in there and do what you need to do. But and just know who's tied to him. Aaron Parray, who's running for House seat 37. She's in lockstep, supports down with everything. So remember, Sophia Jackson is totally against everything that he stands for. And then Michelle Morrow, they all palling around together. And Scott Lassiter, he wanted the group to get.
And that's again in our area. I need for you all to know who your representatives are. Yeah. So if you don't know, look it up. Or ask me. I can help you.
Yeah, we can find.
If you're here in North Carolina, we'll find out. But when we talk about local politics, these are the people who are going to be on our ballot. Everybody's going to have, my mom has a different ballot than what I'm going to have. So we just want to make sure that everybody gets the information about the local ones. The state ones, everybody going to be the same. The federal one, everybody going to be the same. Yep. We all voting for the same president. We vote in North Carolina. We're voting for the governor. But then these other races, the judges are important.
Very
the
important.
Judges,
District
the General Assembly. Yep.
Who set
we need to know
community service hours.
We are voting for Attorney General, which again is a statewide race. So yeah. Anyway, when you check your registration, I think maybe after tomorrow, sometime this week, the ballots are going to be available, so you can see who's on your ballot.
Know who your people are,
and you can do your research. Go to the polls informed.
Yes.
All right.
And anyone who needs information, if you will go to Democracy North Carolina, their website, they're nonpartisan, but they have a lot of good voter information. They have created a nonpartisan voting guide, and what they've done, they've picked out definitely all of the North Carolina candidates, most of the North Carolina candidates, and the national candidates, and they have just put a list of where they stand on the policy issues that are talked about a lot. They're not telling you who to vote for, not telling you what, but it's information, good information. So people who don't know, all you undecided, it's a little 2-page paper, might take 10, 15 minutes, peruse over it and see what you want to see.
And that's North Carolina. So Jen in Colorado.
Oh yeah, sorry, Jen.
Or anybody. Brenda in Virginia.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The McCords in New York.
Yeah.
They different.
Yeah.
But find your people.
There
is probably one website that you can go to and check your voter registration. Check your voter registration. Check your mamas. Check your cousins. That's what I do.
And check your voter registration. And and again, for those undecided, those people who say, I'm gonna sit this one out. Just remind them. And unless they have a school system, unless they have the way to make their own water, unless they have the way to clean their own air, unless they have their own health care, unless they set their own wages, unless they have their own Social Security. I mean, if they have all of those things and they're self-sustained, okay, they may be able to set this. And let us know where you're at, because we want to come live there too.
Yeah, you got a compound.
Yeah, we
may have to.
We'll do our part. We will do more than our part. But if you don't have those things, people who are going to sit in these seats are going to impact your life. They're going to impact your children's life, people you care about, grandmother. You want your elders in your family, the elders in your community to have health care, to be able to live, continue to thrive, put people in place that have their interest. And, your kids, your grandkids, you don't have no kids, you got some cousins, nieces, nephews, care about them.
And with that, we will start our disembarkation process. So
get them all out of here. That's what they said.
So I would just say, be mindful of the company you keep. And also be mindful of the person that you are around the company you keep. Some people can motivate and inspire and encourage you. while others drain you and drag you down. One thing we did not talk about tonight was the P. Diddy um, debacle. And P. Diddy, that did not happen in a vacuum.
No.
There were some people around him who allowed him to be the person that he was. And so, and I would like to think that there's some people who did not even, what do you think the IV for? Like, there's some people who like, what is going on? But they went along with it for whatever reason. And so now we are, where he has been allowed to abuse people, men and women, for decades. So just be mindful of the company you keep, and make sure that the people that you surround yourself with are people that you want to emulate, people who will lift you up. So again, we tied Mark Robinson to a lot of other people. Like they chose to be with him. They chose to be on the same stages with him. So
and co-sign with everything that he said.
Be good people. Be kind. Be very demure, very respectful, very mindful. Be a good person. And just always, again, just be introspective of the person that you are when you're around some of these people. And if they are pulling you outside of what your mama and your grandma raised you to be, or what you know is right to be, then just check yourself, check your friends. Sometimes we have to break ties, but just be mindful of the company you keep.
That's good. I like that. And along those same lines, so you kind of talked about the company. So I want to say be yourself. So when you are looking for that company, find that company that you can be who you are. That you can be your authentic self all the time. So you don't have to be someone else at certain times and around certain groups. One thing I appreciate about this lady to my right, maybe your left on the screen, I'm not sure. Yeah, on your screen is on the left. I mean, she's who she is all the time. No matter where we're at, no matter what setting we're at, she is authentic and is the same genuine, caring, to the point. I mean, just that same person all the time. So find spaces where you can do that. That's one thing I appreciate about where we reside on Sunday mornings is we are ourselves. We don't have to be anyone different. We can be ourselves. So find, again, that crew, that company, those people who support who you are and what you're doing, and help you be authentic and support your authenticity and who you are.
And with that, we're out.
With that, we're out.
Everybody have a good weekend. Have a good week. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.